Hello again. Welcome to AirJobBossTV. I am the AirJobBoss, and today we're going over another big negative. That is something significant on your application. They're certainly going to ask you about that might kind of make you a difficult candidate or one that has to overcome this obstacle that other people generally don't have to. And today is criminal history. Hopefully it's a minor criminal history, but here's the good part. If you've disclosed it and you're invited to the interview, it has not disqualified you. And believe me, a lot of people have a small criminal history to contend with. Not a lot of people, but a percentage of people do. Now, it is important, like any big negative, that you prepare for this answer, probably with a professional, because they are going to listen to this answer very, very carefully, more so than any other questions. Yeah? So, my advice, run this by a lot of people, probably a professional interview preparer. So here's what we're going to do. First thing, if you have a criminal history, you are going to disclose it on any paperwork or any time they ask you. And you're going to disclose it in a manner, and this is where a good preparer, if you get to them prior to your application process, can help you. Because it's going to be a little box, and then it's going to be like explain. Now, you don't want to go into a very long explanation. You basically want, do you have any criminal history? Yes. Please, if yes, please explain. 2001 disorderly conduct, Blaine County, Colorado. That's it. Okay? You don't want to actually describe the situation, because the situation, to be honest, is variable depending on who you're talking to. They can talk to you, or they can talk to the judge, or they can talk to the law enforcement personnel who cited you. And all those are a little bit different. Your story is going to be your story, so there's no need to really write it down there. Just write the date, the charge, and where it is recorded. And that's generally a county, okay? That's all you need to do. Then they're going to ask you about it in it. But please disclose it. If you do not disclose an item associated with your criminal history on your application, and they find it during your background check, probably when you've already got hired, they can and they probably will terminate you. So please disclose it, no matter how far back, no matter how small, and no matter whether you think they're going to find it or not, because that always varies. Some counties record very well, some don't. Some private investigation companies do background checks, are more thorough than others. So you may have not been discovered at one airline, but the next airline might discover you. So disclosure is very key, and it speaks a lot to your integrity. You don't have to be worried about this. It's happened before. They've seen other people before. Take this one head on, get proper preparation. Okay, full disclosure, you've done that. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to bring the paperwork. If there's any paperwork associated with the disposition from the court, the plea deal, the citation, anything, bring it with you just in case they want clarification or you need to prove a point about it. You have the paperwork and they know, wow, this person's very honest. They've actually brought the paperwork. We know that they're disclosing everything. They want to be reassured about that, okay? Then you're going to simply tell the story. This is what happened. I was out in the middle of the woods late at night with a bunch of my friends having a bonfire. We'd been drinking and the fishing game showed up. And they want to see everybody's ID, and everyone just started running around. Well, I had a video camera, and I was recording them, and they said I couldn't record them, and I said, I can record you, and they said, no, you can't. I said, yes, I can, and they grabbed me, and they put me in handcuffs, and they sent me to the sheriff's office, and they booked me for disorderly conduct. I spent the night in jail. I actually woke up the next morning at 8 a.m. and went in front of a judge, and the judge asked how I plead, and I pled guilty. That's the next thing. You must accept responsibility for your action. In front of this interview, you must say, it was my fault. Don't try to tell them how it was the police's accident, or they were mistaken, they got the wrong person, or you didn't really commit the crime that they say you commit, that you've been charged with. Just own up to it. Because it's really important that you disclose problems associated with your job, safety-related problems, small SOP violations, violations in the FAR, through proper chain of command and reporting policies and NASA reports. It's really important to the company because, as they say, it's not the crime that's bad, it was the cover-up. So you don't want to, you always want to take responsibility. So you're going to say something like, I pled guilty. I felt completely embarrassed. I was happy to pay the fine. If I was those officers, I would have arrested me too. It was a complete embarrassment. And then you're going to fall on your sword and say you're sorry. And you're going to say something like, it's incredibly embarrassing for me to actually have to answer this question. Since then, I have complete respect for all forms of authority, especially law enforcement. Their job is very difficult. And the last thing they need to do is start round up a bunch of drunken, snotty ass college kids like I was. And I just made a promise to myself that I would never embarrass myself or my family like that again. Some strong statement that you felt emotionally embarrassed about it, emotionally embarrassed enough that you have changed your ways and you're never going to do that again. Admit that you're wrong and admit that you've changed, all right? How you prevented it. And then if you want, you can do the closing and reassure them. I can reassure you that this type of behavior, you will never see anything close to it in my future or your future with me. My intention is to come here and represent this company and myself in the highest level of professionalism. Boom, like that. Okay. That's kind of it with the criminal history. As I've said before, you're best to get professional advice on how to answer this question, because from airline to airline, this is going to vary slightly, although generally the concept is going to be the same, but your personal situation is going to have to be tailored in a way that they're assured that their company culture and their core values are going to be reflected in your employment there, and that this is not going to reoccur and something that's reoccurring in you at the present. This is a part of your past, yeah, and you've been cured, quote unquote, cured of this, okay? Anyway, I am the AirJobBoss. This is AirJobBossTV. You can like, subscribe, and share. Also, if you want to know more about my one-on-one preparation, you can click the link below at airjobboss.com. See you next time.